In the music production world, not everybody is a piano player or comfortable using the keys, but that doesn't have to stop you from creating dope melodies. In this video, I'm gonna dive into BeatMaker 3 and show you some awesome tools to get you creating fast without piano skills. Welcome back, creatives. I'm Jarrell. You guys know me as a music technologist, but what many of you may not know is I'm actually a lifelong music nerd with a degree in music education and a teaching credential. So all that to say, I know just a little bit about music theory. And while I'm no pianist, I do know my way around a keyboard. Now, I always recommend to any producer to really take the time to learn at least the basics of music theory. It'll only make you a more informed musician and help you to make better creative choices when you're making your beats. But you do not need to be a music theory nerd to be a great producer. There are some pretty awesome tools built into BeatMaker 3 that can help you make dope melodies fast. So let's check it out. All right, let's open up BeatMaker 3. All right, we got a fresh session. Now we're going to load up an instrument that's built into BeatMaker 3. We'll use the Cherry lead. This is from one of the free packs that came with BeatMaker 3 that I downloaded from the Sound Store. All right, it's all loaded. Now let's check out some of the options we have in here. Right here in the Bank tab, we have these multiple ways to play things in. I've already talked about in previous videos how to use the fixed velocity and the trigger velocity to play softer or louder. The roll tab to play different lengths of notes. The wheels tab I haven't talked about yet, but it's not too hard to manage. So basically, press a note, pitch it up or down. But this gets to the meat of what I'm talking about. This is the Scales tab. Now, this is what you can use to really level up your playing skills without a piano. So we've got different kinds of scales in here. Now, these first few up here, major, major pentatonic, major blues, natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor, these are all actually scales. Down here, when it gets into, I guess Japanese doesn't really count, but like Lydian, Mixolydian, Dorian, these are all fancy music theory words for different modes. But I'll show you how this works. So, well, first let me click the 64 pad. All right. If we click the major scale, here's what we got. It changes all of the notes to be notes that fit in the major scale. Now, all these scales start on the bottom note here. So that's C. And so on. It basically takes out all the notes that don't fit into C major. Now, if I wanted to use this in a different key, I would click this button here. We got it set to semitone instead of octave now. And I could drop it down to B, for example. All right? So we're in B major. There you go. Now, when you're just getting started trying to create melodies, I highly recommend the pentatonic scales, both major and minor, because they're what I call safe scales. You can play these scales with your key of choice pretty easily and the notes will sound right. So for example, this is the major pentatonic scale. We'll go back to C. One that I tend to use a lot more is the minor pentatonic. And there's a lot of these with a lot of different flavors to them that can actually fit really well in whatever song you're working on. So here's major blues, minor blues. It's getting a little saucy. Natural minor. Harmonic minor. Also one of my favorites. Melodic minor. Which, you know, my music theory nerds out there, this isn't 100% accurate when it comes to what melodic minor is, because that has to do with the way down. being different. But anyway, I digress. We're going to experiment a little bit with the Japanese scale. I kind of like it. I don't know why they call it like Japanese. I guess they're trying to like attribute it culturally. But anyway, here's what it sounds like. Some of you might recognize this scale from the Killmonger theme in Black Panther. I think it sounds dope, and you can do a lot with it, so here's what we'll do. I'm gonna actually go for 160, let's do that. Let's try this. I think that sounds pretty dope. Now, while I did choose specifically what notes I wanted to use, I pretty much, for the most part, went up the scale. I added a couple of notes in there, but you can experiment on your own. Honestly, if you want, just practice running your finger across these keys and you might be surprised what you find. I'll show you an example of that. So I'll add a new bank, and this time I'll load up a plugin. Audio unit, let's do mellow sound. We'll go here. All right, let's go back, click our bank tab, and let's load that Japanese scale again. Don't know why they call it that, but here it is. All right, and that sounds pretty dope. Let's see if we can put that sweep in somewhere. We'll quantize this just so it works out right. Maybe leave the offs off, and we'll do, let's do 16th note quantize. All right, here we go. Not bad. A little TLC, we can make something out of that. Let's check it out. Mellow sound, let's go into some effects. I think with a good reverb that would sound dope. We'll cut out a good chunk of the dry mix, bring up the wet mix, bring up the stereo width, bring down the room size a hair. Let's see how that's, oh, maybe let's add a little bit of delay. Okay, let's try quarter notes. Let's see what that does. I like that. We do need to turn the feedback up a little bit though. And then also turn the volume down on that effect significantly. All right, here we go. So with just, a couple finger drags and some effects put on, we've already made something that sounds cool, but I didn't have to play it in with a keyboard. I can do the same thing with basses. That's probably actually one of the best places that this method shines. So let's check it out. Add another track, bank, go back to the banks tab. All right, let's load a plugin on this. I'll use Bassalicious. I like to use that for my basses. So let's go ahead and select the same Japanese scale. Let's drop it down another octave, hit the 64 pad. Let's give it a go. Sounded pretty nice. And again, I'm not using a keyboard at all, so getting some pretty cool things in, and honestly learning something like this, learning how to play notes on a pad can be a lot less intimidating than playing something in on a keyboard. So the next thing I would do is probably just add in some drums, but I think that's it for this one, you guys. If you're looking for more BeatMaker 3 tutorials, go ahead and check out the playlist that I'm going to link right here and also down in the description for lots of helpful videos on some basics and some more advanced things. If this video added any value to you, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell because I put a video out every week doing things like this, giving you tutorials and product reviews on all things music production. Now, my creatives, go out there and make something dope. And I'll see you in the next video.